Okay, Squad Fam, welcome to another Sinister Sunday. And if you can guess by this crazy ride we have going on here, we are going to Waterbury, Connecticut. That's in the USA, and it's called Holy Land. It's an amusement park built according to the stories and verses of the Bible. The park met a sudden death after it was shut down in the 1980s. Since then, the park has attracted plenty of ghost hunters who have claimed the presence of supernatural powers and paranormal activities within the park. So, we're going to find out all about this. Okay, Squad fam, so here we are going to Connecticut. Now, one of our great subscribers and friends of ours, Pammy Clyde, is from Waterbury, Connecticut. So one day she's going to have to go by there and take some pictures for us. But this place, Holy Land, USA, is a theme park in Waterbury, Connecticut, inspired by selected passages of the Bible. It consists of chapels, stations of the cross, and replicas of the catacombs. Constructed from cinder blocks, bathtubs, and other discarded materials. Interesting. The park closed in 1984 and fell into disrepair. On September 14th, 2014, the site reopened to the public for the first time in 30 years with a inaugural mass. Okay. This area is now open to the general public during daylight hours. Wait a minute. Here we go. Here's where the parts of this get sinister. And let's go find out what about this murder. So you want to go to the amusement park where everything's from the Bible? Well, John the Baptist Greco, a water-based attorney, thought it would be a good idea. He wanted a place for all people to sit and be peaceful. The construction commenced in 1955. He wanted an attraction that would replicate Bethlehem and Jerusalem from the biblical era. Among the original attractions at the site was a recreation of the Garden of Eden and Daniel in the Lion's Den. The centerpiece of the site was a 56-foot cross and an illuminated sign that read Holy Land, USA. During its peak years in the 1960s and 70s, Holy Land, USA attracted upwards of 40,000 visitors annually. Greco closed Holy Land in 1984 with plans to improve and expand the site, but the work was left unfinished when Greco died in 1986. The property was left to the Philippian sisters. The sisters, who now own the park, held weekly prayer meetings at the site, and the holy hours on Sundays were devoted to the Virgin of Revelations, an apparition of the Virgin Mary witnessed in 1947. The claims that the sisters made is that the statue of the Madonna in the chapel is one of three commissioned by Pope John. After they failed to restore the park a few times because they were afraid of liabilities and being sued, they then turned over the park. On June 20th, 2013, Major Neil O'Leary, a car dealer, purchased Hollyland from the Philippian sisters for $350,000, announcing a plan to clean up and revitalize the site as part of a community effort. The plan included the installation of a new, larger lighted cross. On December 22nd, 2013, the new cross was illuminated. Since the reveal of the cross, the once overgrown land has been cleared of trees and underbush. Smaller projects have been put into place to refurbish smaller areas of the property. Despite the lack of restoration, some renovation projects were undertaken while the park was closed. In 1997, a group of Boy Scouts repaired the illuminated Holy Land sign as part of a community service project. And in 2008, the original 56-foot cross was replaced with a 50-foot stainless steel one, which was dedicated in a ceremony led by the Archbishop Henry J. Mansell. In response to community outcry, a new LED illuminated cross was installed in 2013. The new cross, funded by community donations and with work donated by local construction companies, is a stainless steel structure that stands 65 feet high and 26 feet wide. The state-of-the-art LED lighting system allows the cross to change color based on the Roman Catholic liturgical colors. Liturgical colors. I don't know if I said that right. On August 11th, 2018, Archbishop Leonard Paul Blair of the Archdiocese of Hartford celebrated a Mass at the park honoring the legacy of Father Michael McGeevy, who is under consideration for sainthood. McGreevy was the founder of the Knights of Columbus. So here is where it gets really sinister. On the evening of July 15th, 2010, 16-year-old Chloe Ottoman, whose picture you see here, was raped and murdered by 19-year-old Francisco Cruz at the park at the site of the large lit cross. Cruz was charged with capital felony murder, sexual assault, and strangulation. Ottoman's family agreed to a plea offer, and Cruz pled guilty on April 20th, 2011. He was sentenced to 55 years in prison on June 17th, 2011. Cruz is currently incarcerated in New Haven County, Connecticut, in the Chastire Correctional Institution. There was also other incidents that happened there. There supposedly was 2 murders, but I can't find anything on the other murder. A lot of criminal mischief incidents that happened there. I can't find any other accidents there. So I don't know if they're just not saying, because I don't think one teen girl is going to cause a whole bunch of different paranormal activity. That's all I could find, really, on this place. However, Connecticut itself, when you ask about ghosts, has tons. So I'm going to share just some of the places you could go that is super haunted. Okay, so they say the top 10 most haunted places in Connecticut are, some of them have creepy names, so I would say they would be haunted. Barahack Pomfret was established as a settlement in the 18th century. They came down from Rhode Island to start a community. They quickly fell on hardship and it was abandoned, and it has been desolate for the past 125 years. It is dubbed the Village of Ghostly Voices. Due to the influx of disembodied voices the visitors claim to hear when approaching the abandoned village. Next place is Booth Memorial Park in Stratford. Labeled the oldest homestead in America, this wonderfully weird architectured park hides some equally strange haunts. The Booth brothers were both said to be heavily interested in spiritualism and even built shrines in the homestead, which is said to have caused the area's haunted nature. Captain Daniel's Packer's Inn in Mystic. Originally owned by Captain Daniel Packer in the 18th century, the site of this inn is closed to the site of where the historic Mystic Massacre took place. Guests report seeing the ghost of an old sea captain who's said to move things around in the restaurant. Connecticut Valley Hospital is haunted. Charles Island, Midford, Curtis House Restaurant and Inn in Woodbury. Consistently cited as one of the most haunted inns in America, the Curtis House Restaurant and Inn is said to be haunted by a multitude of spirits. In its almost three-century history, the building has hosted a variety of guests who claim to have heard disembodied voices and footsteps. In one episode of Gordon Ramsay's Hotel Hell, he claimed to have felt uneasy during his stay and even found it difficult to leave his room. Devil's Hop Yard State Park. Why would you call it that? In East Hampden, Connecticut. People believe that the park was the hiding place of Satan, and if you wandered too far into the woods, he would come and take your soul. Though people have walked through the park, have claimed to have heard demonic voices, the state park is actually a nice spot to take a stroll. Yeah, not with that name. Okay, the next place is Downs Road in Hampden, Connecticut. This portion of Downs Road that remains unpaved has been a source of unexplainable activity. Cars are being attacked by an unknown creature apparently called the Downs Road Monster. Even apparitions of children that appear out of thin air. So many things go on there. Many avoid Downs Road even though it provides a beautiful hiking trail. Oh, I want to go there. Evergreen Cemetery, New Haven. Legend has it that in 1824, Mary E. Hart fell to the floor and was deemed dead by her family. They promptly buried her, but after a vision by an aunt, the family exhumed the body only to find out that Hart had clawed at the top of the casket before eventually dying. Midnight Mary, as she has been affectionately referred to as, is still stalking the grounds to this day. The legend also says that if you're in the graveyard after midnight or decide to go near her grave, the spirit will come and kill you. Yeah, we're not gonna visit her grave. Fairfield Hills State Hospital in Newtown, New Jersey. In the 20th century, the campus of Fairfield Hills State Hospital in Newtown served those who experienced severe mental illnesses. In 1995, the facility was closed. However, those who have ventured out into some of the abandoned sections of the campus have claimed to see shadow figures roaming the grounds. Before the hospital's eventual refurbishment by the town of Newtown, a series of tunnels were said to have existed to transport patients, and often they did unsafe operations on them. Great Hill Cemetery, Seymour, Connecticut. Local folklore has it that the former caretaker of the cemetery, who had a hook for a hand, hung himself from a tree in the cemetery. If you parked your car under the said tree, your car is said to stall and you would be able to hear the scratching of a hook on your roof. The legend has given way to the cemetery's nickname, Hookman Cemetery. Wow, it seems all the cemeteries are haunted there. Guntown Cemetery in Nantucket, Connecticut. Deep in Nantucket is a cemetery that paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren deemed haunted. From sightings of a man leading a horse through the cemetery to reports of music playing out of thin air, this cemetery is not for the faint of heart. Ooh, that sounds fun. And now we get to Holy Land, USA, which of course we already did, but let's see what they have to say about it. Anyone who has driven through Waterbury has seen the huge cross on the hill overlooking I-84. It's the symbol of Holy Land, USA, religious theme park that has been slowly decaying since 1980s. It was erected by the Catholic attorney John Greco in 1955 and featured replicas of biblical sites that people would come to visit by the busload. Today, it's a creepy curiosity. This was written before they reopened it. Lake Compost in Bristol, Connecticut. Known As the longest-running amusement park in the U.S., Lake Compost has made quite a name for itself with its supposedly cursed history after a Native American chief, John Compound, who the park was named after, died in the area. The park's recent history has seen numerous accidents and deaths that have caused many to speculate that something sinister lurks in the park. Perhaps the spookiest story is this location where Milli Vanilli were caught lip syncing and thus faced a fallout from the music industry. Well, alrighty then. Little People's Village in Middlebury, Connecticut. A mystery in its own, the Little People's Village of Middlebury was rumored to have been built by a man whose wife claimed that she would see fairies in the area. The area around the village is said to be haunted by the spirits of fairies. There is also a throne at the center of the village, and the folklore is that anyone who sits in it will die in 7 years. Okay, guys, so don't sit on that. I told you, and I warned you. Mansfield Training School and Hospital, Storrs, Connecticut. Now situated on the Yukon campus, this building used to be a hospital for people who suffered from mental disorders. At the time, many people filed lawsuits after discovery that patients were subject to abuse and poor living conditions. The hospital was shut down in 1993. However, people who have gone to explore the area claim to hear disembodied voices and see spirit mists. So there's actually a few more places. Palace and Majestic Theaters in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Sawmill City Road. Okay, guys, let me know if you want me to do Sinister Sunday on any of these places or any other ones you look up and say, wow, this looks interesting. Okay, Squad fam, thanks for watching this episode of Sinister Sunday. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Give me a like, a thumbs up, and leave me a comment, and we will see you on the next adventure.